Okay, everyone, I am just going to do a briefing tonight just to kind of play around with this. And we'll wait till a few people come online here. Hopefully everybody can hear me. That'll be the first big thing. And I'm just updating the comments with the live link here. And we'll see how this goes. And if this... how feasible this will be, and kind of how things are going to go down this year. But I'd like to do more of these, if possible, from my office. And then when we get into storm season, we will be able to live stream not just on Facebook, but maybe also on YouTube as well. So maybe if anybody is joining me, you can let me know, and I'll kind of watch the chat here, which you guys can kind of watch with me since I'm sharing my screen here. But we'll see if people are following along, and then I'll kind of just go in and update. We'll just see if this works or not. So again, this is all new to me, and if anybody is able to join on the YouTube link there, we'll see. I know last night worked pretty good overall, but again, we'll see if this is working okay here, and kind of follow along as we try to grasp an understanding of how YouTube works. About the time I figured out Facebook Live, now I'm switching over to YouTube, but it's kind of because Facebook is forcing our hands at this. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start. Again, I'll check the chat in just a little bit to make sure that everybody can, or somebody can hear me. So tonight I'm going to look at a couple of weather models and just kind of see when the next storm system is coming. Quick check on the observations for Whatcom County. We're already down into the mid 40s in a lot of places, even a little bit in the low 40s. Not much wind at all, so things are pretty calm. Kind of a partly clear evening. I saw the moon earlier. I think there's probably some stars out, but mostly 40s. I'm not seeing anything in the 50s. And of course, up at Sumas Mountain, it's 37, but that's 3,000 feet. So just a pretty benign evening. And that will turn into tomorrow. This is Lyndon's forecast, but we got a high of 56 is kind of what NOAA's calling for, National Weather Service, with decreasing clouds. So we'll see some sun tomorrow, should at times, and then we got increasing clouds tomorrow night, which leads us into our Halloween Friday forecast of rain, which is probably going to come later in the day, maybe in the early evening. We'll check on that. I have not looked at the weather models much at all today. We got a lot of rain though between Friday into Saturday, and then it kind of tailing off as we go in later into the weekend, or the late part of the weekend, with more chances of rain coming next week. It's kind of that time of the year. So we'll check the weather models, maybe make a couple other comments, and then just kind of go from there tonight. And so let's see. Everybody hear me? Anybody on here that can tell me that they hear me? Let me, and hopefully see the screen okay. Again, I'm still in test mode here, so hopefully it is working tonight. So maybe there's nobody on here tonight, but hopefully if you watch it, the longer you watch these live streams, the more you, okay, loud and clear, good. Thank you, Cascade Compass. The more you watch them, the more you like them, and the more you subscribe, the more subscribers we have, the better this reach is going to get out in the area, and it will help me with my live streams in the future. So, okay, back to the weather here. We went over the observation for tonight and kind of what our forecast is for tomorrow. Should be a beautiful, really, ultimately a beautiful, at least, I don't know, for this time of the year compared to what's coming. Let's check how much rain Bellingham Airport got overnight or yesterday. 0.39 inches yesterday. And then we can really quick check and see what they got. Actually, let's just do it right here. I forgot to pull this up. I will be better at trying to get this up for you instead of having to waste time here on this stream. But it looks like this morning, I'm just looking here, looks like, yeah, all that rain came before midnight. So it looks like the 0.39 is the whole rainstorm. And so now we're at 3.14 inches. And I'm actually going to go look at something here. I'm going to pull up the average. I'm pretty sure it's 3.80. Okay, 3.85 inches is the average for October at Bellingham KBLI, Bellingham International Airport. For some reason, they're not tracking that in 2025's thing. The average, it's just NAN. But we're 3.14, 3.85. What is that? 0.71 from hitting normal. So, and then when you look at your accumulation chart, we checked this last night. I'll pull it up again. Let's see if we'll have made up a little more difference here. Let me just quick change this to the airport. And let's see, we were just under 4 inches last night. So we're now 3.6 inches is our deficit. So we made up 0.20 of that deficit in yesterday's rainstorm. So that's excellent news. We've been dry since below average since April 12th or so, April 10th. And you can see the gap. The green line is what we have accumulated for 2025, and the brown line is the average for the year. And the average for Bellingham up to this point, year to date, is 24.87 inches normal. And we're at 21.27, so I think that's 3.6 inches difference. By the way, we can check the satellite, not the radar, but satellite, and you can see some upper level clouds kind of streaming around here and up here. Maybe a little bit of, not really seeing. I mean, it's pretty clear here, looking like, again, maybe some upper level clouds coming in later. And I think with those increasing clouds later, that'll keep the temperatures around, upper 30s, low 40s for most. Not seeing any freezing temps, assuming that cloud cover keeps on coming, and it looks like it will. Let me check comments here. Okay, nothing. If you have a question or comment, throw that into the chat, and we'll answer them along the way. Looking at the latest weather models coming in tonight, the 0Z GFS here. We've got the ridge that's giving us our benign, drier weather. You can see that here. And let's put it into motion, and we kind of forward into the overnight hours. And you can see the ridge holding on. This is 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, still holding on. You can see a good day. Here's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We're still holding on to that ridge. And then you see our next system, our potential atmospheric river, a big rain amount. Although we're going to look at totals here and see what kind of the averages we're looking at. But you can kind of see that big trough coming out of, or upper level low coming out of, I guess that's the Gulf of Alaska, and then spinning out. It'll spin out this atmospheric river, which is going to have quite the, the tail here to this. You can kind of see how long this is stretching, even though we're looking at this at way up in the atmosphere, but you can kind of see it. It rides along this ridge right here, and it just keeps coming as we fast forward into over Friday night into Saturday. And so that's kind of what our next weather maker. The 18Z Euro, which the 0Z has not run tonight. Here's our ridge, a little bit stronger on the Euro, at least for a bit there. And then here comes that weather maker. It's basically pretty well. Timing might be a little different of the rain, but you can kind of see that precipitation weather maker there. It's spinning up there. I would guess Alaska's got some interesting weather there. So yeah, see that river of water or rain maker coming. So let's take a look. And again, this is real quick here at the GFS in precipitation. And this will also let us know. I'm just forwarding here a few hours into no rain for tomorrow. It's dry. I'm almost into Friday morning here. And here comes your weather maker there. This is Friday at, about 3 in the morning. Let's see, let's keep on forwarding it. And you can kind of see it clips the coast first, western Vancouver Island. You can see amount of rain is growing there, as we come into Friday morning. So I'm thinking that Friday, as you can see here, the GFS, this is 11 o'clock. So now I'm forwarding it. There's 10 o'clock, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And this is just the latest model run of the GFS. So you kind of see the rain coming in late afternoon, mid-afternoon maybe, on the GFS. and there's 5 o'clock. It's raining fairly good at this point on this model. So Friday night, maybe just drop the candy off at my house. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure it'll be as many trick-or-treaters, although honestly, and we'll have to look for wind. A lot of people are used to trick-or-treating in the rain, right? So, but just be wary that I think it's good. It could be a rainy night. It looks like down here might be a little drier for a little later, so maybe down south would get, at least on this weather model, you can see the Olympics taking the brunt of this again, and this going in overnight into Friday into Saturday. Let's just kind of see what the rain totals. The GFS is wanting to give about an inch at the airport. Okay. In this storm, keeps adding up a little more. Sunday may be a nicer day, and I mentioned that already, although chance of showers looks like it will remain. Okay, and then if you look at the Euro, we're going to look at the 18Z here. We're dry here. We're going through Thursday. Here comes our rainmaker. And now we're at 7 in the morning here, or 8 in the morning. You could kind of hit in the coast, 9, 10. So the Euro is kind of bringing this one in maybe a little earlier on this run. I'm curious about something. I'm just looking here. 20 minus 8 or 7. 1 o'clock. Yeah, it's interesting. Let me just check one other thing. Just looking at the timing here of... Okay. So I'm going to want to... I'll probably put up a post tomorrow about the timing of the rain, but here the Euro might be a little quicker with this rain coming in on Friday. Not going to change much other than it just rains earlier. I still think the evening is probably going to be wet up by us. But that was kind of what I was looking. I want to look at the high-res models here in just a minute. But the Euro's a lot wetter, at least on this run, than the GFS is tonight. Because we're up to 1.70 inches, with the mountains getting in closer to the 4-inch range. And we're here, the GFS is 1.26. So either way, I would say an inch is possible in some areas. At least at this point. And then I'm going to take a look at the high-res model here real quick, and then I'm going to check a couple other things and probably call this a night. But again, thanks for joining. Feel free to share also the YouTube link to let others know that we're doing these live streams, starting to do them. And yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun doing this. I'm not one of those people who are just going to, we'll talk about weather, of course, but we like to have some fun as well and some humor. So hopefully we'll have a good time doing this together. And I enjoy the community that we've built here. It's a lot of good people here, and I really appreciate so many people. I'm going to look here. I don't think this one's even in view, but here, just coming into view tonight, 0Z, the HRRR, we call it the HER, high rapid rate refresh model. Runs every hour, but the 0Z, 6Z, 12Z, 18Z run out 48 hours. Otherwise, it runs out, is it 18 hours? Something like that on the other runs. Okay, so here is 7 o'clock in the morning, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Here comes the rain, about 3 o'clock. 4, if I got my calculations, 5, and that's where it ends. We can quick look at the NAM here, which goes out 60 hours. So there also, it's raining by 5 o'clock, 6, 7. So potentially, it looks like a fairly, wet, rainy system coming on Friday night. And then into Saturday, and this is going to stop because it only goes out 60 hours. But we're already at 0.62 on this run tonight. So will there be any snow? Probably at the summit. This is going to be some high snow. You can see there's just not a lot of snow. It's just going to be, the snow levels are going to be high with this system. That's this. I'm seeing that right here. I don't even have to pull up freezing levels to know. You can see there's just not much snow coming. Here's the Euro run. There's just, yeah. So, and then, I was going to take a look. Let's just see what the National Weather Service is discussing about this storm. Now that we've looked at the weather models real quick, they're saying a weak ridge of high pressure. We talked about that moving over the region, brings drier conditions to the area. Atmospheric river will move into the area Friday into Saturday, bringing gusty winds. We'll have to look at that closer. Showers will taper on Sunday. I talked about that already. Let's go down here. Clouds will increase. Yeah, okay, that's Friday. I just want to, oh yeah, snow levels will be 8 to 9,000 feet. There you go. Moderate to heavy rainfall, periods of moderate to gusty winds. Coast, Whidbey Island northward, so that probably could mean we could be a wind advisory. That'll be southerlies, peaking late Friday night into early Saturday. Moisture, steady rain will start to make its way into the north coast by late Friday morning. Yep. Into the northern interior by the late afternoon hours, and into portions of the central South Sound by the evening. 48-hour QPF, that's quantitative precipitation forecast, I think. Is that what's QPF? It is quantitative precipitation forecast. Yeah, okay. I was right. 2 to 4 inches in portions of the coast, Olympics, and North Cascades, with locally higher amounts. Amounts for the interior lowlands between 0.75 and 2 inches for the time period. So, I think they explained every single thing we just said, or I just said. So, I don't think there's anything new that we really learned. We do need to look at winds, and that's the last thing I'm going to do. I think tonight I'll check the chat here. I don't know if anybody else, hey, let's see, finish trick-or-treating, hi Josh, by 10 a.m., yes. Or else just, if I was thinking of all those people who bought this candy, and then, there's probably going to be less people out if it's pouring down rain. Again, maybe that heavy rain holds off till overnight. That would be our hope. I just don't know if I can say that for sure. But there might be periods where it's not just dumping, it's more just kind of our steady Washington rain. But people are going to have some extra candy potentially, and I was like, you know what? Not wanting my doctor or dentist to know about this, but you could just drop the Snickers and the Baby Ruth right here at my doorstep, and I'd be good. But no, I really don't need it. So anyway, good evening, Keith. Good to see you on here as well. I'll check these comments one more time after I check the UW that's out tonight. So let me quick do this off of my website, which needs to be revamped desperately. 10-meter gusts. We're going to loop. Come on. We're going to loop the latest. And again, I'm going to get some of this stuff up so it's set to go instead of clicking every time, because that's going to get boring. So let's just look at the wind gusts here. This is tonight, 0Z for Thursday, 30th of October. Just checking my calendar to make sure that's right. So this was run at 5 p.m. tonight Pacific time, which is the 29th, but it's technically UTC 7 hours ahead, which will be, 8? Is that 8 hours coming up this weekend? Fall back. Is that this weekend? I think it is. I don't like changing clocks. In fact, I just told somebody tonight or the other day, I'm not going to change my clocks. I'm just going to keep them an hour off of everybody else. But anyway, that's not true. We got some northerly flow tomorrow, a little bit northwesterly, and then back to easterlies. Nothing Meg, because it's going to be with that ridge, not much, kind of benign in the wind. Here we're going into Friday, a little bit of northerly flow, a little bit of southerly starting to pick up Friday morning. Oh, that's getting a little bit gustier along the Bellingham area, up into the waterways here. You can see the Strait and down into the islands. You can see, you just see strong southeasterlies, some coming down here. Actually going this way through the Strait of Juan de Fuca, but up here is this the Strait of Georgia, and then into the islands. And yeah, you can see some southerlies Friday afternoon at 5, kind of pick up at 5 o'clock. What are we doing? 6-hour increments? Hold on. They just switched this over. Let me go back to the old style looper here, because I think I want to do 3 hours. Yeah, here we go. I want to see the 3 hours. That was confusing me. Okay, let's look at Friday. 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock. The southerlies are starting to, again, approximately, starting to take over all the lowlands. See, it starts on the water and some into the foothills up at Mount Baker. We got some pretty good gusts, it looks like. And then it kind of overtakes. See how that 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock? Okay, I don't know if they'll would do a wind advisory just for that, but we'll see. And then we got some northerly, northeast wind coming Saturday. And then back to southerlies. Okay, Saturday, there's some, again, strong gusts. Okay. We'll have to keep an eye on this. See, I'm guessing they may issue a wind advisory. We'll see. But we're going to we'll make a post about the winds probably tomorrow. That's some good gusts coming there at 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. I was also going to look at accumulation here for precip, just kind of see what the UW is thinking here. Just bear with me. Okay, 5 o'clock. These are accumulated precip here. That's 5 o'clock Friday. So the rain has started already at 5 o'clock Friday on this one. We know that because this ends at 5 o'clock Friday, and there's rain on it. At least Bellingham looks like it could get rain shadowed a little bit. Okay, and then this is the next 24 hours. So by 5 a.m., and this is basically falling between, 1 on Friday in the afternoon and 5 in the morning on Saturday, because it's going to be dry tomorrow. Man, there's got some inch accumulations. And then, not as you get closer to the water, it's more like 3/4, ½ inch to 3/4. Let's push ahead to 5 p.m. And we got just about everybody with an inch or more. So the UW and up here in the mountains, we got 3 to 5 inches. So that triggers something for me. When I start seeing, 1.5 inches in the lowlands and 3 to 5 inches. So we want to look at is just kind of see if there's any flood gauge. I don't think this is going to be a flooding issue, but it's something we need to take a look at. This triggers my brain. So assuming this is still updated from last year, we'll see. Maybe it's not. Are all my flood gauge links gone? Okay, let me take a look and see. Oh, the site is down. Okay. Let me figure out what is going on with that. Let me do this. Flood gauges, Nooksack River. I have to go in the back door on this. Okay, let's take a look at this. See if this one will have it. Okay, and so we got the correct date. And so we have Ferndale. I mean, just right now, just looking at this, up here is probably flood stage. It's 18 feet up here. Can't even see it. And it's kind of sending it up. Now, this is, oh, wait, this was observed. Excuse me. Here's the one I'm looking at. 12 feet, but it's nowhere close to flood stage at this point. Having said that, this is just a guess. This is kind of the forecast idea, but that could change. If we get more rain, that's going to, go up. But what I'm seeing right now is, okay, not anything to be concerned about. By just taking a look. Let's take a look at the upstream gauges, which I think this pushes me to Everson, which they don't have a forecast gauge at the Everson. So you just have to watch this one manually, and then we're going to go up to Nugent's, North Cedarville. Just looking at this again, here's the action stage, and it's a couple feet below at this point in the forecast. So that's good. And then up to the Glacier north this is Saxon. I don't want Saxon. I want the other one. Hang on a second. It's not the one I wanted. I want where'd my gauge go? There it is. Oh, let me take a look at this. Okay, yeah. Okay, we're not seeing anything that's, and it won't let me see past this. Let's see if I can see. This is different than what I'm used to using. So, okay, Nooksack River near Glacier. Yeah, not seeing anything that's jumping out crazy at me on the river. Could be. We'll just watch this. The river doesn't seem to be too high at this point. It's coming down. And so we're starting in a good place before this atmospheric river. Okay? I know it may not make sense everything to you, but that's what I'm seeing here tonight. Okay. I've been rambled on way too long. Let me check the comments. Not so much snow in the mountains for a melting flat. Yes, Josh, you are correct. I was going to mention, I thought of that earlier. The flood of 21. The flood of 21 had like 48 inches at Baker at the ski area, and it melted it down to, 16 inches. So, you lost 32 inches of your base. Went down the river. Or, it went down south. Or down. Not south, but west. And also you had all that rain. Like 17 inches in the mountains in that flood of 21. It was nuts. So, we don't have that much snow in the mountains. You're absolutely right. So, and it's early November. But you look at this one and then you pile another atmospheric river on it, say next week. I'm not saying that's what's coming, but just say it did. Then we got to start, because then you've gone up and then you may have another one a couple days later. And if you don't get a big gap between those, you start having, concerns. So yeah, normal flow would be a good way of saying this. Appreciate Keith taking good pictures. How are we so close to November and the time change? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I know, it's crazy. That triggered one other thing that I was going to do. Oh, hey, I'm going to take a look at something. And I don't want anybody, I honestly not sure what's going to come up with this, but I'm going to look at the total precip for tonight's GFS. It's already finished, all 384 hours. What I'm seeing was some pretty good rain on these runs lately. So, and this is, we're not looking much past a week out. And so this is going past that. So nothing is said in anything, but I just want to take a look at this, not to, I just want to see, because I think there's some more systems potentially next week. Here comes some more rain next Wednesday. Not tons there, though. Olympics. There could be some flooding on Skokomish. Doesn't that thing flood like when it rains like 5 millimeters? So yeah, later in the run gives you 7 inches at, and then here, what is this? 10, 11 inches up in the mountains. Okay, so I'm going to look at the 18Z. Yeah, so it's come down. This runs a little less. Look at this one, the 12Z earlier today. Almost 5 inches at Bellingham Airport, and purple, like 18 inches. Now, this is for 16 days, but you can see how tonight's run, it lessened it in half, almost. See, that's why you can't attach yourself to one run of any model that far out. Just kind of something to keep an eye on. The Euro, let me pull up the 12Z. Just see something here about their total precip. And let me just push it all the way out. And the Euro 12Z is pretty wet. Again, and that's only 10 days out. This is a pretty wet run for the 12Z. And we don't have the newest run that goes out 16 days, or yeah, I think it's 16 days. But this run has purple on it, which is, again, getting into the 15, 16 inches in the mountains, and then 6.5 inches at the airport. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but that's just something to keep an eye on. The GFS tonight is definitely drier, and I'm going to run the GFS here. Actually, I'm just going to see. There's got to be a reason why. It must be less systems as we get to the end here. Let's see. Or it's just more. Yeah, there's a ridge that sets up. See that ridge? And that blocks those systems. That's why the GFS is drier tonight. So if you look at the Euro for this basic same time from earlier today, you're going to see these systems hitting us. Here comes another one. Oh, that's the 18Z. Hold on. Okay, there's a ridge there. Oh, that's tomorrow. Hang on, let me forward. Okay, and you kind of see these systems just keep coming. Here's one. It's hitting us next week, and here's another one. That's the Wednesday system. Here comes another one. And then let's see. There's a little bit of a ridge, but it doesn't last long. So here comes some more rain. So that's why, look at this. That's why that run was so wet on that 12Z. Here comes another one. But tonight's GFS has that ridge right here set up and kind of blocks that rain at the end of the run. So that's why it's drier than what we saw here. Same time. 18Z, 0Z. Way out. We're not going to worry about it. Just something I'm looking at. Okay, I'll check comments, and I've rambled on long enough. Yes, Tim, good to hear from you. Yes, it is looking good. Maybe I'm looking good. No, tomorrow is looking good. But yes, good to hear from you, Tim. Gotcha. Okay, guys, thanks, gals, thanks for joining me tonight. I'm going to call it a night, and we will talk with you soon. Been fun.